Sir, man, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Curtis Cash, here back with another video, man. The fourth video of the day, bro. Probably gonna be the longest video of the day. We're gonna go ahead and get right into it, bro. Y'all know how to do it. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, man. This is Savages from the 6 Wassi, right? Somebody told me if I want to know like the origins of what Wassi gang came from. This is the video I need to see. I can pretty much see from the title of the name. Savages from the 6 Wassi. I'm guessing it's somebody who passed, who was, pretty known up there, and they, to honor him, Wassi gang, right? So I'm guessing he passed or something like that, because that's mainly the only time, you do stuff like that, right? You name the gang after somebody who passed, who was a close friend or, a good friend, the gang or whatever y'all was, repping. Let's go ahead and get right to the video, man. Let's get it started. Savages from the 6 Wassi, bro.
You niggas wash up, y'all be wash gang. My niggas super sav, we be wash gang. All you niggas wash up, y'all be wash gang.
So if you're a fan of Toronto rap, then you've heard songs by artists like Pressa, Burner Bands, Robin Banks, Houdini, and others.
Yeah.
They've just been making a lot of...
Yeah. I just recently heard my first song by him. I heard, I guess like one or two songs by him. I already knew who this was. I keep telling you, I already knew who Robin Banks was before I knew who 1, 2, and 3 was. I found him way back in my sophomore year of high school, bro. I randomly found him in my sophomore year of high school. I graduated back in 2017, so that'll be 2015, probably like the end of my freshman year. So 2014, 15 is when I found Robin Banks, bro. And I thought he was an American artist. And I found out recently from listening to Toronto rap, Robin Banks is a part of a whole big ass gang from Toronto. I never knew this, bro. I never knew this, and I used to listen to him, bro. I never knew it, bro. But I was a kid, so I didn't think much of it, and I always listened to a lot of music. If it sounded good and I was rocking with it, I listened to it. Didn't really care about the origins of what an artist was from or anything like that. Now, I'm older, so I like exploring and, finding out what people from and everything like that. Y'all see what I do on the channel: UK drill, French, France, Ireland, Australia, all different type of shit on the channel, bro. Mainly it'd be, UK and Toronto for sure. Let's go ahead and get right to it, man. Let's finish the video.
noise in the music scene. Then you've probably heard of Wassi gang, which is basically the biggest group out of Driftwood at the moment. Most people know the name of the gang derives from a person with an interesting story. So today, on Savages from the 6, we'll take a look at 21-year-old Quasi Peters, also known as Wassi. So there's no question that Wassi was well respected amongst his friends, enough to have a whole gang named after him, and for his friends to spend thousands of dollars having his face custom-made into pendants for their chains. It's clear that he had credit and was well liked within his gang. That being said, let's get into the documented history of Wassi.
That's tough.
So like many tales from Toronto, our story starts in the dangerous area of Driftwood, where Wassi grew up. He and Anal...
You're not lying, they pretty much do always start there. They pretty much always start in Driftwood.
A popular rapper who goes by Pressa were friends from when they were little kids. Sadly, it was clear what path Wassi was headed down from a young age, with his mother saying that he was getting into trouble with the law since he was 13 years old. Not only that, but in an interview with Vlad TV, Pressa actually gives a detailed glimpse into something gruesome that Wassi saw when he was a kid.
My best friend Wassi, he seen somebody like basically there's a guy, he got shot on on our neighborhood plaza. The guy ran to our bridge. He walked over the bridge and he seen the guy die. He's dead on the bridge, and he's just a little kid. He was probably just I don't know, 10 or 11, right? So he was just 2 years older than me at this time. So he walked and he's like, fuck, that's a lot for a kid to see him, a guy dead on the floor, And then that guy, even my teacher said Quasi would never be the same after that, So
Yeah.
Seeing something that grotesque as a child is bound to have some type of effect on a growing mind. Wassi spent several years of his early teen life in and out of the juvenile detention system. When he was 16, while he was locked at Roy McMurtry Youth Center in Brampton, Wassi was the subject of a news report named From the Margins, Building Curriculum for Youth in Transition. In an interview, Wassi talks with a reporter about how being caught in the system as a young offender has turned him into a quote-unquote monster, and that every day he is fighting for his life. It seems like he had a rough time in this prison, and he continues to detail his experiences and talks more about the mindset of a youth offender in this report. Now we go back a few years before.
That's wild, bro. That's wild, bro. He had an old interview in this jail saying how getting caught up in this shit early turned him more into a monster than it actually was supposed to. I mean, technically, that shit ain't gonna help you. That shit'll fuck around and make you go insane. But for it to make him worse and worse, though, like for real, instead of at least trying to contain him or make him content, to not want to go back in there or do something to make him go back in there, he's saying this made him a monster, though. Oh, man. Can't catch me on. I can't do no box, bro. I don't give what it is, bro.
For the interview. While still in the youth center, Wassi's neighborhood Driftwood and his alleged gang were under scrutiny by the police. They had been organizing a sting, dubbed Project Marvel, targeting an alleged gang in the Jane and Finch area called the Young Buck Killers. Ranging from locations in Toronto to Surrey, BC, the police...
Damn. That's tough. That gun old as hell right here, but still will kill a man.
Executed multiple raids and ended up seizing almost 30 guns and over $110,000 in cash. Over 400 charges were laid against 60 suspects, one of those being Wassi. Even though he was locked up at the time, he was still charged for his connection with the gang. Being tied to this police project, as well as seeing someone die at a young age, is what drew reporters and journalists to Wassi. So now we go forward in time again, to a few months after the interview. Wassi's charges in connection to Project Marvel stick, but he manages to be granted bail and he is released. He would then go on to enjoy his freedom for a short couple of years before being arrested on weapons charges a short time after his 18th birthday. Now it's not clear when he got back out of jail for his charges, but he was last documented being locked up in late 2013. He ended up being released at some point after.
It seems like he can't catch a break for real, bro. Ever since a kid, bro.
So now things become heinous in the story. We're brought to the morning of June 28th, 2015. Police were called to a condo at 36 Lisgar Street, around Queen Street and Dovercourt Road, after a frantic call reported several gunshots being fired. When emergency crews arrived, they found 2 men deceased in the unit on the 22nd floor, suffering from obvious trauma. They would later be identified as Abdiweli Abdullahi and Muhammad Diri, both aged 26. There was one woman in the unit at the time who actually climbed over the balcony and onto the neighbor's balcony to try to escape the shooting. Now this woman wasn't cooperating with police, but their investigation still came up with 2 suspects. 23-year-old Kamal Hassan and Kwasi Peters were named as the suspects, and the police issued warrants and put out wanted posters for their arrest. Less than a week after the double murder, Kamal Hassan voluntarily turned himself into police. Wassi, on the other hand, was nowhere to be found and considered to be on the run at this point.
That's tough.
There's even surveillance video of Kamal and Wassi in an elevator at a different building shortly after the murders. Kamal is seen reenacting what just went down, almost emotionless to the fact that 2 people were just brutally murdered. Now while Kamal was in police custody, they had turned their focus on finding Wassi. This search would last for almost a month before they finally found him. So now we're taken to the early hours of July 25th, 2015, to a nightclub that's near Peter Street and Adelaide Street West. Police located Wassi and they knew he was in the club. Uniformed and undercover officers staked outside the building and waited for him to come out. Once Wassi was outside, they surveilled him and watched as he walked through the parking lot and got into his car. This is when the police were ready to make the arrest. A bunch of cruisers swarmed in and blocked off the entrance of the parking lot. A few officers on bikes close in, and there's no sound but there's shooting going on between the cops and Wassi. You can see officers ducking for cover behind cars.
That's crazy, bro. I guess he didn't want to go back to that box. He didn't. That's not where he wanted to be at. He said he'd rather go out like this. Crazy as hell, bro. And they was gonna give him some years, because that's 2 people, bro. He was gonna be in there for a long time. That he'd rather not even do that, bro. But this right here, though, this wild, bro. A whole shootout with the police, though.
Then you can see Wassi in a gray sweatshirt run towards the street but trips and falls and lands in front of the cruiser where he's subdued. The aftermath was over 30 shots being exchanged, with police saying that Wassi fired the first of 7 shots inside his car through the windshield. Out of all those shots fired, he was only struck with a single bullet to his chest. He was quickly rushed to the hospital, but died a short time after. Now after his death, the co-accused in the case, Kamal, began to explain what happened to police. He claimed that it was solely Wassi who shot the 2 men in the Lisgar condo, and he played.
Yeah, whoa. You cooperate after he passed and then say it was all on him. That's wild, bruh.
No part in the murders. He said he feared Wassi and stuck by him after the shooting because he didn't know what he might do. During his trial, which was 4 years later, in March of 2019, Kamal also claimed that the footage of him in the elevator reenacting the murders was actually just a ploy to make Wassi think that he wouldn't snitch on him. With the co-accused Wassi having died, it seems like it was an easy case for a defense lawyer. Seemingly, the aftermath of the trial was Kamal being found not guilty on all charges. He was acquitted and effectively beat the case. No one knows why exactly Wassi decided to shoot at the officers. Can only speculate. All of the officers involved were cleared of any wrongdoing after the police dashcam footage surfaced. It seems like Quasi had a rough life, and honestly it's a sad end to his story. But he continues to live on through Was Gang and through their music. All we can say for now is rest in peace.
That's crazy, bro. It's crazy. I really like how you're doing these videos, bro. This was an 8-minute clip and explained from the age that he was, a baby. Right here with him and Pressa all the way up into his passing, bro. In less than actually like 7 minutes. And explained what a game, bro. This is a good ass video. This is literally a good ass video, bro. From a kid with Pressa to being a troubled teen, seeing somebody dying, going in a juvie system, seeing how it turned into a monster, getting out, going back again for a gun charge, getting out, being free, and like 2 dudes. Other guy, he getting out a month later. Dude at the police. He died. Then the guy who was with him snitched on him. That's pretty much the end of it. I mean, and that's how he got his name, bro. Like that was the best way he could have summarized the whole thing, bro, without going into too many details, bro. Like I basically feel like I knew this nigga whole life, and I don't even know him. I wouldn't say like his whole life, but like basically, like his whole backstory of where everything came from, bro. Good vid, bro. Definitely good vid, bro. Make sure y'all go subscribe to him if y'all not subscribed already. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of the vid. Hope y'all enjoy, man. Boy. Oh, bro.
Yeah, no, we not lazy, we working. Yeah, used to walk, now we in Porsche. Yeah, I got gelato and sherbet. Yeah, I ran that check up on purpose. Yeah, I got pink rice and Hawaiian. Yeah, keep me in stride like I'm dyking. Yeah.